Hi everyone, so I want to show you my latest Kokorosa order. So don't forget to go over to Kokorosa Studio and use my code ICED20, which will get you 20% off your order. So I did this order just after Christmas and it's come through already, so it's actually come through quite quickly. They sent me another free gift and they started sending me dies as free gifts, which I'm very pleased about because I love dies and I use them. I use them way more than stamps. So this is a little mitten die and I think it's so cute. So although it's not Christmas, I am going to start making a few Christmas cards anyway. And I also want to try and make some more kind of like flat cards that are more postable. Because I do make quite a lot of 3D ones and quite often they, you have to pay a bit more to go through the post. So this mitten measures 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. So this is the mitten die, so I'll show you now the card or whatever I've made using this die. So with the free gift, the mitten die, I just made this card which stands up by itself, 6 by 6, nice and easy. But I like the way it cuts out, it looks really cool. And yeah, I'm really pleased with this die, it's a nice free gift. So there you go, that's what I did using that die. Next up we have this one which splits apart, so you've actually got a little connector at the top and the bottom here, so you can take it apart, so you've got two sides. And this measures, the height of it is almost 5.5, and then so let's do the two separate ones. So this one, if you put them together like it is now, it's 3 1/8, but if you separate them, this one here total width is 2 1/8, and this one is 1 3/4 roughly. So this is like a mountain climber and it's a bit different, something I wouldn't normally have gone for, but I was like, it'd be quite, I do know people who are kind of sporty, who don't necessarily drink and, play football and do all the usual things that you get on men's cards. So I thought, well, it's quite an interesting die, that, and you could do quite a few things with that. So yeah, so I thought I'd get that. So here's what I made using this die. Then with that climbing die, I really like the way this turned out. So it's just quite a simple kind of card, but it's got these little panels on the front that open up, and I just thought that's a really good time to use those mountain climbing dies. And again, I just thought this is a fantastic little die set to get, especially if you have, if you struggle with mail cards and you have, males in your family or friends or whatever who, are a bit adventurous, like going out camping and, climbing, all this kind of stuff. These dies are perfect. I love just how they cut out. They're really nice, and the fact that if you put them together, you could have it quite close together, as you saw on the sheet. And then I've just paired it up with some papers. But yeah, so that's what I did using that die. Next up we have this heart die, and I really like this because it looked like it had like all the foliage and then it cuts the heart out as well. And also this banner, this was what kind of sold it to me, because I don't really do hearts, although they are useful for like get well, with sympathy, etc., stuff like that, with love. But yeah, I really like the banner, and that's a good size as well. So this this banner measures about 4 inches by about 7/8, and then the heart, the whole thing across, is like 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, and then the actual heart itself is about 2 inches by about 2 inches. So it's a decent size, quite sweet, not too big, not too small, just nice. So yes, I'll show you now what I made with this die. With the heart wreath die, I made this card. So obviously that's, if you can see the white, that's how it cuts out. And then that heart that's left over, I then used, because I did it out of the burgundy and out of the white, you can then use to, do what you want with. So I did a little get well soon card. You'd already seen the video for this, a tutorial for this. So that is the card I made using that die. Next up we have this kite die, and I quite like this because obviously it's like an outline and it's not too difficult to make the back section. And then you've got the bow, a little heart and a little flower that you can either put inside or you can use on the string. And this measures, it's about 2 7/8 of an inch roughly by about 4 1/4. So again, a decent size. So I'll show you now what I made using this die. Then that kite die, I made this card, and again you will have seen this tutorial already. As you can see, it comes out really nicely. The little string was actually from a different die set altogether. You don't get that, but you get, obviously, as I showed you, the kite. You get a little heart, a flower, and this bow. And this bow is gorgeous, and I will be using that bow on other things because that's quite a cute bow. You can use that in a little girl's hair. You know, if you had like a little stamped picture of a little girl, or you could use it on a present. There's lots of different places you can use a bow. So I just thought that's even a bow tie, like on a gentleman. It's a really nice bow. Very nice. I love the little bits it cut out as well. So that's what I did using that die. So next up we've got this keyboard one. Now I quite like this. I do have people who are into music, so I thought this could come in handy. And I'm not quite, I can't remember what it says. I think it says when words fail, music speaks, I think is what it says. And it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 roughly. But I just thought a piano keyboard is very useful, and if you didn't want to have the letters, you could easily just cut those across and just have a keyboard. So I just thought that was quite useful. Yeah, because you could even put the lines in. You could just make your own little lines to kind of, you know, to fill in the gaps if you wanted to. But I just thought it was quite a nice little die. So I'll show you now what I've made using this die. Then I went a bit different with this one. So this is going to open up like that. So you've got like a kind of a shadow box. And this is that really fun. I just thought it was really nice. I like the way you've got the little words. And I decided to leave them in. To start with, I was thinking, I don't know if I'd use, I don't know. But then I thought, no, actually, it's quite good because it kind of felt to me a little bit kind of like, you know, I've put the You Are Love. This is also a Kokorosa die as well. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it is definitely a Kokorosa die. But yeah, I just like the piano, and I've got a little, this was a punch that I've got with some notes, so that went well. And then obviously you've got space to write on the back. But yeah, just a really nice little die, nicely framed, looks smart, kept it black and white. So yeah, so that's what I did using that die. Next up we have this, which I thought was rather nice. It's kind of ornate, but it's not too ornate. This measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/2, and then you've got, so in here you've got several different bits. So it looks like you've got a panel here. So you've got ovals in the middle that come out, and then you've got this pattern bit actually cuts out of your card. Because if you look at this very edge here, that's not a cutting edge. Then there's an oval that is a cutting edge. Then you've got this, which does have a cutting edge and also has like a stitched edge, and then another oval in the middle. So that's like 1, 2, 3 ovals plus your outer section. So that's quite a good you know, mix. So that oval section, the first die that cuts out, is like 1 5/8 of an inch wide. The next one in is like 1 3/8 of an inch wide, and the one in the middle is about 1 inch wide. And then height wise, going from the smallest out, the smallest one is 2 1/4, so it's 1 by 2 1/4. This one here is 1 3/8 by 2 7/8, and then the biggest one is whatever I said, 1 5/8, did I say, by 3 1/8 roughly. So you've got quite a nice little set. So they're not too big, they're quite decent. They could actually be quite useful this way around for sentiments as well. So yeah, that's what I thought. That's quite versatile. So if you don't necessarily want to use just the pattern, you have then got some very nice oval dies, and obviously they all come apart. But I'll show you now what I made using this die. The background die, this one here, this is the card I made. So I've done this already as a live stream. But yeah, so there we go. So that's what I use with that. So as you can see, so obviously this is the actual, what the die cuts out. And this center section here is actually part of, so this iridescent card, that is still there. The card is still there. And then if you want to, this pink mat that I've used here, you could use that oval to cut an oval out of this iridescent if you wanted to. I chose not to. I thought I'll stick it over the top. And then there's the stitched edge oval die, and then there's another die as well, which is just slightly smaller again, which I haven't used, which would go over the top. So it's really very versatile, and I really liked the way that came out, and it's a good size as well. It's decent. So yeah, so that's what I made using that die. And then last but not least, we have this square die which cuts out a whole load of stars. So it does cut out a whole square panel, and then you've got all the stars. And again, you keep your stars and use them on other cards as kind of confetti or shaker elements, or just if you want, instead of using gems and you want a flatter card, you can, you know, use the stars for that. So this measures it was almost 4 3/4. By 4 3/4, so it is actually square. Sometimes they're not quite square, but this one does look like it is actually square, which is good. So that's really nice, because that would fit nicely on a 6x6 card, even on a 5x5 actually. You could just about squeeze it in. But yeah, it's quite nice, and it'd be nice for a quick card. So just, you know, cut that out of a panel and then put a sentiment over the top, nice and easy. So yeah, I just thought that's got a lot of mileage in it, and you know how I love stars. So that's what I'll show you now what I did with that die. This is the card I made using that square star die. So I really like it. I kept it nice and simple, nice flat card. You've got a place in there to write. Just kept it really simple with that one, because I just think you need to, you know, I wanted the stars just to shine. So yeah, so that's what I did with that die. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to head over to kokorosastudio.com and use my code ICE20, which will get you 20% off your order. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.